Hey y'all. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since I last uploaded. So I got sick, and then, I just wasn't in like a good place to sort of make videos, and I felt the videos I was making, they weren't really evolving. So I was trying to do some stuff, and I thought of some ideas for videos, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to take my channel down that route. So I decided instead to just make what I want to make on any given day. And, I just like this style of video that I do, which is super, super casual, super low key. Um, but I would like it to be, useful. So today I'm going to real quick just talk about first Canadian game of the World Cup, 1-1. Uh, It's a good thing that we didn't lose. It's not a good time to lose the first game, but that was the World Cup. Anyway, the thing I've been working on for basically since yesterday, and like using Claude, it's very easy to um, build stuff, right? Because I'm not a programmer. I do know how to program, but not like well. I don't do it regularly enough that I'm good. Could I build what's being built here from scratch? Absolutely. It would take me much, much longer, like 20, 30 times longer, right? Like this has taken me maybe 5 hours so far, not even, um, to get it to this point. It would take me at least 50 if I wanted to try and do this manually, probably more because I'll need to figure out how to actually do this because basically what I've been building is a Firefox extension, right? So I've got a temporary extension that I've set up. It's called Friction. So Claude built all the code for it. The whole point of it is, there's apps like this around, um, where essentially when you click on a website or something that you have blacklisted, an app that you have blacklisted, um, it gives you a timer, like a 10-second timer or something, and you just have to sit through that, and then you're allowed to click and go into the app. No worries, same as usual. But every time you open the app, you have to click through that timer. You have to wait through that timer. And that works really well on mobile because on mobile, you aren't really switching back and forth the way you do on desktop. Because on desktop, I've got, multiple windows open. What you're seeing is just one window, right? I've got OBS open on the side. I've got other stuff open in the background. I can switch back and forth. So building that is a bit trickier. Now it already exists with stuff like 1sec and some other stuff, but with 1sec I found the issue was there was this stupid like rising wave type animation effect that I couldn't turn off, and maybe that's because it was the free version, but I couldn't turn it off. And the annoying part was that animation in and of itself is too interesting of a thing. I don't want to breathe. I want to be faced with the stark reality that there is a 10-second timer and it's just telling me, hey, do you really need this right now? So, pretty simple. How the app works is, and I think what I'll do is I'll actually package this up and release it as like a free app because all the other ones I tried weren't quite doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I'll probably start adding in more features to this as we go on. But for now, it's essentially this. It's you get to put in a piece of text that shows up every time. This was the test that was in Screen Zen, which I'm using on Android, and it works really well. But as far as I could tell, there wasn't like a good desktop version. So basically, I'm building a desktop one for myself that I can use, and maybe other people that could use it. But basically, I installed ScreenZen on my phone a couple days ago, and it's just been so useful in me just not overusing my phone, right? And it doesn't block me. I can always just wait the 10 seconds, but it's just that little bit of friction that makes me not, right? It's that little bit of clarity before the dopamine hit, right? Where like I have to sit there with myself and be like, am I really just opening up, YouTube again? Am I opening up Reddit again? Am I opening up, this Instagram again? Whatever bullshit again, right? Because I know I just opened it like 10 seconds ago and then I closed it because there was nothing that I'm opening it again. And it's just like time just disappears when it's that quick. With just this little bit of friction, I think this might be sort of the sweet spot because what it does is when it's too restrictive, because I do have also things like cold turkey, which I use, but all that stuff is like restrictive. It'll actually stop you. I don't want it to actually fully stop me because the thing is, if it fully stops me, at some point, I'm just going to be like, man, I want to do the thing during a time when it's supposed to be blocked. And then the only way to do that is just to turn the thing off. And if I turn the thing off, then it's gone. And then I have to turn it back on. And it's not doing its job. If I can just bring some mindfulness and 10 seconds of friction, I can always sit through 10. It's easier. It's always easier to sit through the 10 seconds of friction than it is to go and try to turn off the whole app or whatever, right? And I am going to add a little bit of friction to this setting screen, whereas if you want to make changes to this stuff, you have to wait like more than 10 seconds, right? You have to wait longer than the duration time. Which means you could have just waited that duration time for watching the thing or for the tab that you were trying to access in the first place. So I think the other thing that I also have, so basically, let me just get into how this works. So there's a text, there's a countdown mode, so which is either fixed, which is a 10-second, or we can make it random, right? So that it can be between 10 and 30 seconds or, min and max seconds. You can set whatever the hell you want. And if you check this box, the timer goes away when it's random, okay? And that's really cool because now you're just sitting and watching a screen that's doing nothing. That's giving you no indication when it's going to end. You know it's going to end somewhere between these two times that you have set up. So it's between 10 and 30 seconds. But you don't know how long it's been. You're just sitting there waiting for something to load like an idiot. Like it's now I think that might be a little too much friction, but that's why there's the fixed version too. And the fixed version in of itself is already quite useful. And then the open duration is how long it stays open before re-prompting the screen again, right? So right now I have it set at like a domain level, but what I'll probably, or like, sorry, an entire app level. But what I'll probably end up doing is have all these settings be like one sort of block. And then I can create multiple separate blocks with their own different settings. But that's sort of an additional thing. I have a blacklist. So only sites that are on the blacklist have this stuff happen, right? Anything that's not on the blacklist, it just doesn't happen for. And then I also have a whitelist to add exceptions within the blacklisted site. Now, I haven't tested this functionality out yet, but at some point I will be. So for example, let's say I want to block YouTube, but I don't want to block certain channels, right? So I can see what these channels have updated. So you know, theoretically, this isn't huge, but let's say I wanted to watch like a tutorial video on YouTube and I didn't want to like sit through it for a long period of time. Well, I could add it to the whitelist. Now, could I not just do that for like an hour-long YouTube video, just a random one about anything? I could, but either I'm going to add enough friction to this whitelisting process that that's not worthwhile, or I'll have some other feature to just allow me to do that at times, right? Because at times I may want to just watch a long YouTube video. It's just, in my experience, those are very rare that it actually is useful for me to watch. So, you know, I'm not going to worry too much about the whitelist feature for now. We have the blacklist feature, and that's what we're using. So let me just show you how this works so you can just see. So I have this loaded as a temporary add-on right now, but so this is all there is to it, by the way. This is the entire settings screen, and then it just runs. So if I go to any website, it won't do anything, right? Like I have Claude running here, it won't do anything. But if I go and go to Reddit, well, now it shows me this screen. And now I'm sitting here like an idiot, you know, waiting for this to load. And now you see when it reaches the end of that timer, you can open it for 1 minute. The close tab button I don't think actually works. Yeah. So that's a bug I need to fix. But now that I waited the 10 seconds, it can open for 1 minute if I click open for 1 minute. However, if I click away from this tab and I click back in, it resets. If I click onto another window, right, it pauses, and when I click back in, it resets. So, you need to actually click through. So when you click through, it does not reset, right? This website, whichever one was blocked, will be unblocked for the amount of time allocated, right? So now that because I went to OBS and came back to this, it reset, even though it said 1 minute remaining. Now I'll show you what happens when I click through. When I click through, now if I do this, it's not going to reset. It is going to reset once the minute passes, though. So we'll, wait about a minute, and you'll see that it'll just skip. Even whether I'm on here or not, it doesn't really matter. In the meantime, let me just show you some of the settings. Well, I guess I showed you all of the settings, but what I'll do next after this is show you the random one and just show you what that looks like. And I think this is a this is essentially, I'm building this exactly how I want it, because all the other stuff that I've seen on the market, even the paid ones, like 1sec is paid, and I really did not like it. It had a nice feature where like you could decide the amount of time you needed for the task at that point in time, but I don't really want that for now, right? I just want to set timer, and then I'll go from there. So yeah, you could see that it just reset by itself. And now all the reset rules still apply, right? If I leave, come back, it resets. And then nothing happens if I click here. So let me go ahead and change to a random. And now we save settings. And now I believe I'm going to actually need to reload this page. Actually, I don't think, yeah, there we go. Now that I've reloaded, it's now a different timer. If I reload it again, see, it just gives me a random amount of time between 10 and 30 seconds every time. So if I go here, come back 24, go here, come back 24, go here, come back. Okay, so if I go here, come back, it's 24. If I reset, it gives me a new thing. So if I reset, now it's 15. So if I go here, come back, it should be 15. Cool. And if I go here, come back, it's 15. Awesome. So that's cool. It's basically the same as the other one, just a variable timer. Okay, but what if we wanted to make this painful? What if we got rid of any, like this would be like watching paint dry, right? And the thing is, remember, you can't unfocus this tab. You can't alt tab away to something else and have this in the background. You can't click on something else. You could theoretically be playing something on a second monitor and then just have this be focused. That would work. However, I don't function like that. Like I only have one monitor and I don't generally have multiple things open at the same time unless it's for work. I don't have like entertainment playing on the side. My brain is not able to like manage and process all that. It just doesn't quite work like that. So even this actually blocks it. That's interesting. Yeah. So the focus stuff is good. Now, we're going to make this painful and we'll see what that looks like. Save settings and go here and reset. And I don't know how long I have to wait. It's somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds, but this is awful, right? This is awful. Now, imagine I made this between like 30 and 90 seconds, right? That would be insane. Like, or 60 seconds, like 1 to 2 minutes. See, but that's too much friction. I'll turn that off. That's too much. So like 10 to 30 seconds, probably not enough. But here's the thing. I think this is going to be the same amount of time as before, most likely. Because all it's doing now is just, it's not showing me the timer. I would like it to randomize each time, but, I don't think we necessarily need to do all that. It'll randomize each time you actually start the thing, right? So if I reset it, now it's going to give me a randomized amount of time between 10 and 30 seconds, and it might be longer than the last one. The last one seemed fairly short. So this video is going a bit long, but you can see it works really well. So this is what I wanted to show you guys, and I hope to get this released next week. Right now, I'm only running it locally on this Firefox browser, but I will submit it for approval and stuff once everything is finished and tested. And, I run it through Claude and stuff for any security checks or any sort of exploits that could be done so that, it's actually secure. From what I can tell, it's pretty secure so far. It doesn't really do much. It adds in predefined stuff. So there's not a huge risk, I don't think. But I take cybersecurity very seriously. So when I build something, I'm going to make sure it's not gonna, fail or allow people to like hack your computer or something, though, likely that's not going to happen anyway. So yeah, that is what I've made. And this is literally just through a Claude chat, right? I've been iterating back and forth, talking about the issues it has and whatnot. And this is what I'm building. And man, this is so freaking cool because this solves a problem for me. And it's just going to be a useful thing to have. There's another app that I use very regularly called Distraction for YouTube. But the problem with this is I just deactivate it all the time because it's either on or off, right? So if I want to see my notifications, my and other stuff, sorry, not my notifications, my algorithm, my recommended and all that sort of stuff, I have to deactivate it. So unfortunately, I just leave it deactivated all the time because sometimes I want to watch it and I turn it off and then I just never turn it back on. A timer thing like this could just be simpler. It's like, Yeah, you can turn it off, but A, you're going to need to wait like 10, 20, 30 seconds for it to turn off. So it gives you the time to assess whether it's actually worth your time at that point. And if you want to watch it, you always can. You just wait 10 seconds. It's so little friction that like doing other stuff to get rid of it is too much work. Anyway, for now, this is for Firefox. I will be doing a Chrome version as well because most people are on Chrome. I'm not going to do a Safari version, right? I don't know if I'll be doing an Android or iOS version because I think those things are already covered. But the main thing is just getting this done on Firefox and Chrome, releasing it, iterating on it a bit, and like seeing if I can get some traction and usage for it because this is very useful for me. And I just didn't find anything on the market that could do this in the way that it has. There are some other cool ones that I saw, but not like this. Not specifically with these sort of restrictions and features and everything, which I feel are very useful. So, that's what I've got for now. I may think about actually doing like a bigger device-wide system like this, but for now it's just going to be a browser thing. So that's it. That's today's update. It is my cool little app thing. And see, it reset again, right? Now I have to wait a variable amount of time. And this one really sucks because like, how long do I have to wait? I actually prefer the timer because the timer makes it such a like oh, that reset it again. I prefer the fixed because the fixed is just like it's telling you straight up what it is. Like you're fully in the driver's seat the whole time. You just have to wait 10 seconds. And like as you're waiting that 10 seconds, I'm just telling you there's something, at least for now. I mean, I've only been using the system for a couple of days, but there's something in that 10 seconds where it's like you could delete it and but that like deleting it would take longer than 10 seconds. That's one thing. And B, it's 10 seconds. You can wait that out every single time. Now, I'm not going to have it set for 1 minute. I'm probably going to have it set for like 5 or 10 minutes. But even still, like on my phone, I have it set for 5 minutes. And there's no actual limit to how many times I can actually use it. And yet, over the last couple of days, I've literally used my phone. Maybe, like, this is wild. I've used my phone for like mindless browsing for maybe less than 20 minutes a day, which is insane because usually it's like it's literally hours. What I've been doing is like watching longer form stuff or watching episodes of stuff, which is a much higher like brain requiring thing. Anyway, this video's gotten really, really long, but I just wanted to show that, and I will come back with some updates next week. So here is today's video, and I'm going to start working on thumbnails for sure. But this is the coolest thing I've made ever, I think. And I've made stuff that has saved other people a lot of time, or like in businesses and stuff. However, I've never made something for myself that so directly solves a problem that I had. So this is really freaking cool. And I will keep you guys updated on it.